Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to episode 22. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody feeling? Grab your drinks, grab your wines, grab your ninxas. I don't know, mojitos, margaritas, whatever you're drinking. Grab it. Grab whoever's sitting next to you. We about to talk. Okay, y'all, we about to talk. So if you missed episode 21, you stay here live because I want you to hang out with us. But you need to go and see that. We will drop the YouTube link in the comments because I kind of feel like this is going to wrap in. This is going to help you with the problem that could be happening from episode 21. I don't want you to miss that information. So take your notes and then go watch episode 21. Dayna dropped some really good gems to help with cray cray folk. Okay. And we all got them. Cray cray folk. But tonight, y'all, we're going to talk about something that's so near and dear to my heart. Super passionate about this topic. Self-care and self-love, right? So 2022. I don't know what year I was about to say, y'all. Whole other century. 2022, probably a trickle from 2020, saw a lot of talk about self-care and self-love and all of the things self, right? Self-empowerment. And I know that just from because that's something that I focus on, that's what my business is surrounded in. It didn't start out that way, but it is now. People were like, ugh, self care. Oh my gosh. Like I get so many messages in my inbox with that kind of toxicity about self care. And it's like, it's because you're misunderstanding it. And I get it, right? We've glamorized self care. We've made self care unaffordable to people. We've made it seem like in order to have a piece of self care, right? A piece of self love, that you have to be way up here. And it's not like that. I would love to hear before we jump into this and just have this conversation. What is self care to you? There is literally no right or wrong answer, but I would love to hear what it is, what you feel like it is personally, because I know what I thought it was until I didn't even have a sniff of it and then had to fix myself and was like, yo, it's not. So, generally, most of us think self care is going and getting your hair and your nails done. And it does look like that sometimes. Sometimes going and sitting an hour and getting a massage is self care. It's great. It makes you feel amazing, but it's not all that it is. So before I kind of expel some myths, before I give you some ways that are top for me to bring self care into your business, I would love to hear what Dayna and Andriana feel like self care is to them, how they take care of themselves and in their business. Since we talk a lot about businesses, I want to make sure that I don't hear from nobody saying, I don't have time, because we have time. So let's talk about it, ladies.
All right. So I guess self care for me. Y'all know I'm a teacher, but throughout the day, 5 days a week, and dealing with these kids, I have to come home, give me a glass of wine, pour me a nice bath with some Epsom salts, some
Mhm.
release, some
Mm.
stress away, all of it dumped in the tub, and I just take a minute and just decompress for the day before I can have my kids ask me for dinner, for some clothes, for just whatever they need. I have to decompress first. And it's always been like that for me ever since. I don't know. That's just deep. That's just self care to me. Every day I need it. Every day, all day.
So I just will happen, and I think to a certain extent we have been living under a lot of stress for a long time now, right? And I think with that in mind, we can't extend our day. Okay, we've tried to master the art of fitting everything in, but we can't, right? But I think what we can do is we can make the most of our time. And I find, at least for myself, if I've taken care of this here first, then I can show up more productive. I can show up happier. I can show up in a better light when it comes to all the other things, whether that's my business, whether that's my home, whether that's my kids, whether it's my religion, whatever it is, if I first start here. And so to get specific about what that looks like, I think it's very unique to each person, right? So I think that there is an important element to really hone in and dive into all the tools that might be out there and really see what actually makes the most sense for you. I know I talk about my morning routine is very important to me. I am selfish when it comes to guarding that time, but I don't feel like, even though I use the word selfish, I don't feel like it's a selfish act, because I understand that because I guard this time, the rest of my day is going to go smoother. The rest of my interactions when it comes to my relationships that matter and I'm trying to work on are going to go smoother because I've already taken care of me first. And so there's this line, because I do feel like, and we may get into it a little bit deeper, I feel like while self-care is important, you shouldn't be harming other people and neglecting responsibilities to make sure, like, girl, why you always in the tub and Epsom salt? Who you hiding from? You know the kids got to eat at some point. You're not gonna feed them for days, or we just go like, what we doing though, right? Like, or you in the bathroom, you ain't really using the bathroom that long. You hiding from somebody, right? So to me, when you get to those spaces, those are red flags. That's like, wait a minute, I done neglected myself so long that now I'm hiding from responsibilities, because and that to me can get more in that level of selfish or self-absorbed, because it's like you're like, I can't survive. Like, right, like that was just too much. So for me, that's what it looks like. It's unique because I don't think that there's this like cookie cutter way. I talk to some people and they're like, getting my nails done is so relaxing and da 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 da, and that's my little time for myself. I get my nails done. I be like, oh, is it dry yet? It's not dry. Can we get up now? It's still not dry. I should stop touching it. Oh, I messed that one up again. I'm sorry. And now it's gonna double the time I'm here. It's okay. We just put a bead on it or something. Just put like a little design on it, right? Like, so what for one person that could be self-care, for me, it's not so much. I'm just like, yeah, that's why I don't have my nails done.
I love that though, because that is fact. That's a great point, and I think Andriana and Dayna both touched on it eloquently. We get wrapped up in trying to be told what to do, and I always, when I talk to, I don't like to call them clients, but like new peeps that come on and are like, I just want guidance. I always say that the act of self-care, no matter what you're doing, it is simply to protect your happiness and your well-being, whatever that means. It's not over, like Dayna said, Dayna gets anxiety getting her nails done. She like, be done and send me home, right? I'm ready to go. I don't like massages. I think that it is the most like intrusive thing. I just don't. I mean, I had a really good one our anniversary back in 2022, but that 30 minutes could not be over fast enough. Just
Ooh, baby, look, because I'm like, let me rub me down. Look, I always sit up here like, you didn't get this spot. Yeah.
No, like my first one was given to me for Mother's Day, and I dreaded it. All I kept thinking was, I'm gonna have to be naked. Is she gonna touch my feet? Like, I was anxious about the whole thing, because it just was not, child. I was like, I'm not gonna make it. And this one, we did a couples massage, so it was a little different, but I was still like, I enjoyed it. I had tension in my shoulders, and I mean, and she put that elbow on my shoulders, and I was like, oh, do that again. But I was still like ready to go. But I know people that are like every month or every 2 weeks, it's on the calendar, I'm going and having a massage, because that is a sense of protecting, their happiness and their well-being. Because if not, you will. Dayna pointed, I used to do that. I go to the bathroom, and it got so frequent that Angela will come to the door and be like, "Are you just taking time out?" Because it was like you're not in 2 hours in the it wasn't really that long, y'all, but it was a long time because I was not taking care of me in any shape or fashion anywhere. And going to the bathroom and closing the door was the only way. And then even then I didn't. And it was like feelings of like I'm about to break down. And the point that the ladies have already made is that self care isn't just like this physical thing. It's not just about mental. Dayna mentioned it's spiritual, it's intellectual, it's even social. I always get like an awkward eyebrow. People are like, what? Social self care? Yes. Going out and being with other moms or other women or other fellas, it fills a piece of your cup. And without it, you do. We make the jokes as moms, right? Oh, I just need to have adult time. And people laugh and they you probably, shark it off like she's just being silly. But it's a real thing. Like you're like, I've had enough of the little people. I do need to go out. And that's why you have some moms that easily after have kids, like I'm ready to go back to my job. Because I'm like, nope, I need that adult time. And then they have guilt. So it is any and everything under the sun that is taking care of your happiness and your well-being and like not physically harming yourself or harming other people. um it is, and it does look very very different. So since we talk about business stuff, I brought out the ones that are, I would love for it to be dialogue because I don't want to be like preachy. But these are things that I feel like everybody can tailor to themselves and to their business, but they're kind of like a stepping stone and a guideline. But the thing that everybody needs to do is make a commitment that you're going to take care of yourself. It doesn't matter if you're like, this is what I need. If you're unwilling to sit down and have the hard conversation with yourself that this is what I need to do, and with your partner, with your kids, whomever you live with, whatever the case may be, that accountability. If you're not ready to do that, all of this is just going to sound good and it won't stick because they need to be habits. Self-care needs to be something that, like Dayna said, you do every day. I'm not a morning person, but I learned very quickly that I actually enjoy a morning routine. And when it doesn't pop off, it's a whole day that I feel like is wasted because I didn't set myself up. So, my first one is to write me into your daily schedule. My last one, because I feel like it is, but I'm just going to tie it in because we've talked about it a million times, make a priority list. So I always put you at the top of your priority list. Forget the to-do list because you constantly add into your to-do list priorities. You need those red flags that say, this is what has to get done today. You have to do something for you today, whether that's meditating. I know Dayna sometimes will record her morning walks and she has amazing conversations. And if that's what you need to do, get out. And then it's cold with Dayna. So if Dayna can get out in the cold and still do her thing, y'all can do it too. So just pick what feels good to you. Meditating, journaling. Even for some people, there are plenty of studies out there right now that it's playing a video game. It's sitting down and just time by yourself, doing something that kind of is like, releasing all the things. There are lots of successful entrepreneurs out there that put this in. They tell their secretaries, whatever, this is what we're going to do. This can give you time for reflection. It is that 5 minutes. I make posts all the time like, you have 5 minutes in your day. You have 10 minutes in your day to sit down and do a check-in with yourself. So that is my number one thing that I would tell you to do is create a priority list and drop yourself on that list and put yourself number one and make yourself non-negotiable. There's no negotiating behind what you do for yourself. So, ladies, what is one thing, Dayna, you can't use your morning routine because we already know that you do for yourself every single day that reflects positively in your business? Andrea,
I was gonna let Andriana go first.
I had to think of that because I don't know if y'all follow me. If y'all not following me, my handle right there. But every day I have to have me a cup of coffee. with my little scoop of collagen. That is just so much it's comfort for me because I have to have something. I'm cold natured, so I have to have something warm every morning to warm up. And then tying it into my business, duh, I'm using collagen. Look at this. Y'all see this? Look at me. Okay, get you some. That's how I tie everything into my business. But that's just comforting for me, and that's my self care. My priority is me. Number one, coffee is a must, or some tea.
So mine is a little it, it's not necessarily a tangible thing, but it's more to reset my system. So I've done a lot of work with like a health coach and stuff. I know you ladies know Alexis. And so for me, again, it was more having those tools. So for me, and I love what you said about like scheduling in that time, I had to actually schedule time in my day every day to just say stop and breathe. Stop and breathe. Because for me, and now I will say, even though I can't talk about my morning routine, I will say in the morning, it's like my system is set. I've taken my supplements. I'm on fire. Like if you talk to Dayna from like, and I know this sounds like crazy, but 6 a.m. to about like 1 p.m., I'm like on fire. Like I'm shooting information. I'm so like creativity is flowing. Like that is when energetically I am just like, let's go. I see why in some countries like they have I forgot the word it's called, but they'll take a nap in like like late afternoon because it's like once that hits, then I'm like, and then all of the world like I comes together. And so because I put that schedule right in that period where I know some of that great momentum I had in my day is going to wane, to just take a breath, to just pause whatever you're doing in that moment. And the beautiful thing about that is even if I'm driving, even if I'm, you know what I mean, doing something with the kids, I can say, okay, baby, 1 second, and I can do my deep breathing. I'm a big, if you guys are familiar with Wim Hof, I'm a big Wim Hof fan and his breathing techniques and things like that. But what it does is it helps to recenter you, and it actually even works on like your parasympathetic nervous system, right? So again, you're kind of resetting yourself to be able to kind of conquer that day. So for me, that's one of the things that I literally have an alarm that goes off. Now, granted, because of my anxiety, like I don't have any actual sounds that come off on my phone, but I'll just get the notifications. So if I ever, like, if you are in trouble and you only have one phone call to make, you should not call me. Okay. Like you can ask my family, you can ask my friends. I love you with all my heart, but I should not be the one that you call because my ringer is like my phone's on do not disturb and my ringer is like always off. So you'll more than likely get at some point a call back. But if like by that time you would have been dead. So don't yeah.
So data is not your phone a friend. Mark that down. So you learn something new every day. Andriana, you cannot call Dayna. Remember that.
I'm gonna put you on speed dial, okay, Tameka?
I love that though. I think that is a really good way. And again, that's just another way that it's gonna look different for everybody. An alarm on your phone, tie a string to your finger, whatever it is that you have to do to get it in. This next one, you may not be at a point in your business or in your life where you can do this, but I feel like you need to add it in. And this is where you can be maybe set a target, set a goal to do this, but it's delegate and outsource. Even if you don't run a business and you're watching this, we're just friends and you're watching this. Hey, I love you. Thanks for being here. You can do this in your 9 to 5, right? You don't have to be a business owner to do this. But if you outsource the things that drain your energy or that take you out of your creative flow, you won't have to worry about being sucked of energy, right? You won't have to worry about, like Andriana said, pick on. We pick on her all the time. We love her to death, but we're going to pick on her. Yes, transformation. You will not have to come home and get into a bathtub for 2 hours and and sing, Boys to Men to drown out your sorrow. You won't have to do that if you can delegate it, right? Because the less stress that you have, you can focus on innovating in your business. You can focus on doing the bigger things versus those small day-to-day tasks. And I know some people are like, well, I don't have time. Start with where you can go. And if you're just starting out in your business, that's not, a part where you can take on right now, but make it like, this is what I want to do. I want to get to the point where somebody's scheduling my posts, I'm hiring a VA, or, somebody's making my meals, washing my laundry, but get to that point, because you'll be able to take that 5, you'll be able to invest in yourself, and then invest in the things that make you sing, right? Make you show up and shine in your business. So, do y'all delegate and outsource? I know, Andriana, you used to use a VA, right? Do you still?
I lost my VA, but I'm looking for
Oh.
one because I need to.
Mm.
So if you out there, you look for a job, hit me up. But as far as like outsourcing things here around the house, yeah, we all pitch in. Even the little baby, she picking up clothes, she putting it in the washing machine. We are doing it over here because I can't do it. My husband was just talking about now. Look, we play around with each other all the time, but he was like, "You probably gonna look at me funny, but I might need me another wife just so she can clean up the house." I said, "Well, tell me that I can come home and your house will be clean all the time. Tell me that I can come home and I can focus on my business more. But just outsourcing everything, my kids and everybody else pitch in around the house."
Okay, real quick, let me tell you, look, they talking about me because it's cold. Where I don't know what they do down in Arkansas where we get new wives and all this stuff. We call them housekeepers or cleaning ladies. That's what we call them up here in Michigan. We just hire somebody to come in and clean the house. We don't get whole wives. Like, I don't know how.
But you know how we are. We do not want people. I don't want everybody all up in my house. You know that's the first thing we gonna say.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
This is why you gotta watch out for the small town America talking about other wives.
Look, and ain't you the main one talking about a wife of one?
I gotta let them know. I'm the first one.
I love it. But Dayna did touch on it. When she was talking about what self-care looked like to her, is that we are in a competitive world, right? We try to fit another 24 in this 24 and make it one day. And it's impossible. But I think one of the things that happens a lot, I know it happened for me, and I would like to have happen to any of you. So drop it in the comments. Safe space, y'all. You get that voice in your head telling you if you don't do all the things, you're not enough, right? You're not going to be successful. We start equating the things that we don't get done to our success. And it's not a true story. It's not a true story. This is something that has been invented and handed down to us from generation to generation. If you're not doing all the things, if you're taking a nap, like Dayna said, if you're not productive for those 24 hours, right, you're failing. And that's just not the case. And what ends up happening is we find ourselves feeling isolated and alone. And then we do, like we've talked about before, those micro quitting. So when you can get to this place, even delegating, like Andriana said, in your home, having your children step in. If you're work from home, if you're able to have a business out in your home, it can make things a little easier. If you're like, look, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm showing up to do this. So at this time, I need y'all to do that, to not be afraid to put that out there. We talked about asking for help. So if you missed that episode, definitely go check that out. Okay, so my number 3 is learn to say no. I think Dayna brought this up as well. This is a hard one, and it's like, wait a minute, self-care is supposed to be fun, right? But self-care is not always something that feels good immediately. It's what you can do right now that might feel like, oh man, I'm about to lose my mind. But later down the road, days, months, weeks, years, feels so good. I am somebody who hated the word no. Like, I didn't want to tell anybody no. I didn't want to upset anybody. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So I just said yes, even if I knew it wasn't going to get done. But over scheduling, waking up in the middle of the night, it had me like jump up, check my phone. Who needs me? Because I'm on different time zone. So who can I help right now? As a lack of boundaries. And I think we have touched on boundaries like 4 or 5 episodes bunnied up because it's huge. You don't need to do everything, and that message can wait or that thing can wait. So saying no is one that I wish I could just say no to everything. Every number should be say no, because it's such a kill to not be able to say no. Do y'all? I don't think Dayna does, but do y'all ladies have an issue with saying no? I know we've heard Dayna specifically. She schedules. If you've missed Dayna's what is cycle talk, you need to go catch that. But Dayna will schedule around those peak times for her, and I love that. It's a like, if you feel like saying no is aggressive, it's a non-aggressive way of saying no. I'm not showing up on that day. I'm showing up on a day that feels good to me, and I love that.
Yeah, I like that too. Side note, did you guys see my glass? It says, but first ninja.
Oh, I like that.
So shout out to my oily sister that made these glasses. But let me really I it's funny, first and foremost, when growing up, I remember my father always would say, always ask the question, the worst thing people could do is say no.
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, and I'm my daddy's baby girl, I was like, that sounds terrible. Why would anyone tell me no? Like that sounds awful. But I will say, just for those people out there that maybe struggle with saying no, the one thing that I will challenge you to do is, before you give a response, just let a person know, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. Even if you're like, in your head, you're like, absolutely, I'm going to do that. Like, just pause, because what you're going to start training yourself to do is to stop and really analyze your situation, and is it really possible? So one of the things that we talk a lot about, or I talk a lot about, is modesty. So when we think about the word modesty and the definition of modesty, it really is knowing your limitations. Okay. And it doesn't mean that you can't do all the things. It means, should you do all the things, and then can you do it well, right? So it might be, yes, you can physically stay up 24 hours, but should you? Right? Is that really self-care? Is that showing self-love for yourself? No. And are you going to be functioning as well at the 13th hour as you were at the first hour? Absolutely not. So everybody is now being punished because you said yes when you really should have said no. And so I challenge you to, again, no matter what someone asks you, give it. And now, granted, if they're like, we need an answer now, you probably need to run. You probably need to run. But really stop and pause. Count the costs. What will you have to give up in order to make that yes a yes?
For me, just hearing no, like I said, y'all, I'm working on my boundaries, and just, it's my own stinking thinking. If I say no to somebody, it's just like, dang, I let this person down. Now they're not going to trust me anymore. They're not going to come to me for this and that anymore because I said no this time. And like I said, saying no this time, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, I lost them forever. They're not going to talk to me again. But I know that's not the case, but that's just my own mind mess and my own stinking thinking. But I'm working through that. So y'all pray my strength out there. Y'all pray for me. Drop some love or some heart hands or whatever y'all got going on. Help me out.
But see, it can be a learned behavior to say no. Like, like Dayna said, being told as a child. I mean, I tell my kids that all the time. The worst thing that can happen is you say no. Just ask. Don't take it. The worst thing that can happen is they tell you no. But it seems like the worst thing, right? If somebody's like, no, you're like, wait, say that again. But you can. So one of the things that I had to start doing was write down 3 to 5 no's for each day. I know it's like work to do it, but I would love every female specifically to feel empowered to say no just as much as you feel empowered to say yes. So write out, 3 to 5 no's that you want to say no to by the end of the day. And kudo and double points if it's something that you normally would say yes to, even when, like Dayna said, the cost is really high to you to say yes. It's gonna, make you be awake and you ain't get no sleep, and then the kids ain't gonna get no food or have no baths or whatever the case may be. That's a really good way to work in those no's. It's huge. It can be really huge and very life changing and altering to be able to say no when you're saying yes. And then lastly, I'm going to say it again. I will say it a million times. Throw away your to do list. I mentioned it in the beginning, and grab a priority list, because we are, like Dayna said, it's so competitive out here, and we feel the need to up the ante, right? We compare all the time to what somebody else is doing. Well, if I do this, I could be too, and X, Y, and the amount of Z, and you get so far off where you truly want to be. So create a priority list, and your priority list is meant to be shorter and very pointed versus this to-do list, like for the month of February, I want to do da 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 da, and you got 900 things. Looking at that, that's not feasible. I'm not getting 900 things done. I'm not even gonna disappoint myself. I'm not gonna do it. But what on that list is like do or die? If it doesn't get done, you're going to feel some type of way, or whatever the case may be. What is going to feel good to you at the end of the day, and have you, at level 10 for yourself if you get that done? And that may be 5 things, and that's daily. I literally have papers. I would not show you my desk right now because it is awful, but my mind is in chaos too. But I literally have papers from last week, and they were my priority list. And in the beginning, it was really hard because my brain was like, okay, but I really want to do. And then I had to start learning to say, all right, work for an hour, get up and walk away, and go and do, like Dayna said, do a breathing technique, and then come back. Even if it's just 10 minutes, you come back because you slow that anxiousness and that craziness that you have going on. And then I get to it. My priority list get knocked out. Whereas to-do list, I would sit down, finish one, and then be like, oh, but I need to do this too. And before you know, I done added 50 extra things and they ain't getting done. And then I'm like, well, I'm a failure, or, I suck. I might as well quit because I'm not getting anything done, and I don't feel productive. I just feel busy. So grab those priority lists. Oh my gosh, I wish I could just hand them out to the entire world, because I think that kind of direction, especially when you're running a business, raising babies, taking care of a household, doing all the things, really it wraps everything else in. Yes, it really does. 100%. So if you're not doing priority lists, get with them, Andriana, because we absolutely need them. Girl, you can do it. You can do it. Do you ladies have anything else that you want to put in to self-care? Because it truly is very, subjective to who you are and what feels good to you.
I just think it's so funny me sitting here thinking how I educate and have people to trust their own instincts when they're listening to their bodies, and when you're ready to go and have a baby. Hey, you can be your advocate. You can listen to your body. You can trust yourself. You don't have to listen to what this person over here say or this person over here say. But I can do that for myself. So maybe I need to take my own advice.
Is there something?
Shut up, Siri. But anyway, it's just trusting my own self and not looking at what everybody else is doing around me, and just trust my own mind. I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah, for sure. If it feels good to you, if it is, like I said, protecting your peace and your happiness and your well being, then it is self care. it's not like Dana said, it's not one size fits all. And self-care is not going to fix everything, but it is a tool. And it's a tool that if you use and accumulate more and more and more, you'll be able to, miss the things like, burnout and having your adrenals be flooded and cortisol levels skyrocketed and all of those things. It is a tool. It's not a cure all. It's not, it's like essential oils. It's, essential oils tell your body, they encourage your body to do the thing that it's supposed to do, but they're not like magically fixing you. It's just a tool for your body to do the right thing. And if you practice self-care and use those tools, you'll be able to do the things that you want to do.
I think the last thing that I'll kind of add to it is just that connection between self-care and your business.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, energetically, you will attract what you're putting out there. And so if you are high strung, stressed out, and all of that's what you're going to have come into your business. That's where that energy is going to come. And then you're going to wonder, why do I keep building stress on stress on stress? And then them toxic people are flowing through me because you're not right here. So when you model self-care, you're going to attract other people that are also modeling that in their lives. And you're going to be so much more successful. No matter what your business is, no matter what you're in there, like, you're going to attract what you are. And so it's important that you're taking care of you because you want to attract people that are doing the same thing.
Yes, child. We're going to leave it right there. That was a whole word. We're going to leave it right there on this Wednesday evening. We would love to hear how you're taking care of yourself. And if you're not, how we can support you. We all have a different area of wellness that we love when it comes to essential oils, but there is a tool out there for you to help you be your most successful self and your most authentic self. So, y'all, that's it. We will be back next Wednesday for another episode of Just the Dirty Truth, all the things that are going down in business. If you have missed any episodes, this is your first time hanging out with us, go grab that YouTube link out of the comments and go check out 22 all the way back to introduction video so that you can get caught up and get all of this love, y'all. All right, we will see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 Central. We'll be right here every Wednesday, y'all. All right, stay safe.
Bye.